Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Chicken tacos should only be trusted to chicken professionals.
That's where we come in. Introducing Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One comes with pico de gallo and creamy chipotle ranch. And the other comes with bacon, lettuce, tomato, and avocado ranch. Chicken experts since 1990. Chicken taco experts since now. Order yours today in the Zax Rewards app. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Watson and the co-host of Foreplay.
I'm your co-host, George Fowler, former firefighter, your couples therapist who loves to talk about sex.
Woo! Let's discuss everything about the best sexual techniques to building your emotional intimacy, which is really necessary for great sex.
We bring sound, concrete tools to reframe your relationship problems and learn how to fall in love again and feel desire.
Listen to Foreplay Radio on the iHeart app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. I'm Zach. I'm here with Laura. Today we're both brand new back from vacation. We've sort of been out of it. Maybe this conversation is kind of reflective of that. But I did want to talk a little bit about how to go on vacation, or how to think about really getting it right when it comes to whether it's trips you take or conversations that you have. We bat around a lot of ideas. We tell a couple of dad jokes. There's a missed opportunity that Laura tells us about in the hot tub. And overall, this is a very cool conversation. Stick around.
Did you hear me smile?
No, I can see your face though.
Oh. Well, if we're really quiet, you can hear it. Hold on. Just let's see if our listeners can hear me smile. Are you ready? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah. I have my husband, it's really cute. He'll say, I can hear you smiling. And it's like I have this weird thing that happens to my lips and my mouth, and it makes a noise when I smile. And I love that you can hear me.
All right. That's only a little bit creepy, but
what's going on? Man, it's been a while since I've talked to you.
Yeah, we've both been traveling. You went to Mexico. I went to Mexico. We were there at the same time. I didn't know that was going to happen.
I also didn't know that. I thought you were being sarcastic. We were in a little bit of a fight, and I thought you sent me a response. And you're like, "Hey, it's too bad we didn't coordinate meeting up."
Oh no, I said sorry, we missed you, and that was
we missed you. Yeah,
entirely sarcastic.
Oh,
yeah,
because you weren't sorry that you missed us.
No, because we were in a fight because I got mad at you, right. And then you said nothing.
I know. Welcome to my stonewalling. That is 100% what I do when I get super flooded, and I got flooded and then I stonewalled you for a week. How was that?
I guess I would ask how it was for you, because it wasn't all that. I mean, I just sort of was like, okay.
Yeah. So. It was, I stonewalled you psychologically. And then as far as being in Mexico, and then I left my cell phone in the, when you go to they give you one of those lockers to put your valuables in. I put my cell phone in my locker, which kind of is like what we're talking about, like how to go on vacation. And that was what our family needed on this vacation, was like a disconnect from technology. And so I really tried to leave my cell phone, and I didn't take my computer out once, not once. It was amazing. Yeah. I took it though, because I was worried if I got COVID in Mexico, I'd have to stay in Mexico. So I took my computer just in case I would have to stay there. Anyhow.
Yeah.
That's not an excuse. That is, I psychologically was stonewalling you, but I also was cut off from a lot of technology as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I hear your explanation now. That is a thing that I heard.
I heard, by the way, I've been watching a new show, and it is just like syrupy sweet. And one of the things on the show was, is that an explanation or is that an excuse? I think they're two in the same. There is no or. There is no or, right? An explanation and an excuse. I feel like if they're coming from a defensive place, they're the same.
Yeah, well, that's the quality, right? If they're coming from a defensive place. So I'm sorry, are you saying right now it was coming from a defensive place, your stonewalling? Or your
100%. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
We're going to have
I guess I'm still waiting for the part where you say, yeah, I understand the way you were angry, and that makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad that we still.
Oh no, are we doing a full repair?
I don't know. I actually don't know what you're doing. All I know is I got mad and you said nothing, and now we're talking. So, but I think we had very different vacations because I actually got in trouble because I did take my laptop and I did work. I saw a few clients and I did some stuff for this other project that we're on. And
oh, that's right. I was like, we're on a project. We are. So basically, you've been doing all of the work on this project that we have been on together.
That is also true.
Yeah.
That is also a true thing that is happening.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about, I like doing this with clients when they go on vacation because it's, there's a thing that I think you can do where you say, how do I put it this way? I'm increasingly convinced. By the way, did you know that koalas aren't bears?
Yes.
They don't have the qualifications.
Hold on, I have one for you. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
What do you call a dead polar bear?
I don't know.
Whatever you want, because it's dead.
That's dumb.
The one my son's been using on repeat. It came from the Ghostbuster, the new Ghostbuster. Okay, go on. Man.
So I'm trying to. So yeah, basically, I got in trouble. I was working and I was reading a lot. My wife thinks I have an addiction to Harry Potter books.
Oh.
I told her it was no big deal, but she thinks it's a serious problem.
I think I have a pulled muscle, and that one I actually felt it in my pulled muscle. That was good. I was like, reading Harry Potter, good for you. All right.
No.
Focus.
I'm increasingly convinced that the purpose of life is ultimately about the stories you get to tell, right? I had clients in my office this morning. We were sort of talking about they're trying to work through a very specific problem in their life and in their world. And I'm like, one day you're going to sit around with some friends and people are going to say, how's it going with this problem? And you're going to go, and they're going to say, it's really hard. This is a really, really hard problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to say, how are you doing it? And then and then the truth about it is going to come out, right? The truth about, oh, but we bonded together, or it ripped us apart. Kind of, maybe they're having this conversation in front of their divorce attorneys, or maybe they're having it in front of their best friends at their anniversary party. But it's a story. It's going to be a story.
Right.
And I think vacations are a really good example of where you can kind of play this out because it's very specifically parenthetical. There's a time when you leave your driveway and you go to the airport, in our case, and then there's a time when you get back from the airport and you pull back into your driveway.
Right.
And when you get back from the driveway, and you unpack your bags or throw everything down, you might say, that was great. That was really fantastic. Or you might say, that was terrible. That was the worst. Or grumble,
right.
Whatever. And I think, we need to figure out how to help people tell good stories. And I think, this is where I've been thinking about how to go on vacation. And so I have ideas, which aren't universal except for the part about the story. But for you guys, it was important to, lock your phones up or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I've been actually thinking about when people ask me, hey, how was Mexico? Like, what is the story that I'm telling them? And no joke, the thing top of mind, I'm like, blah, 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 Mexico. FYI, I got to sit in a hot tub with my absolute favorite football player. Did I text you this or was that part of the stonewalling?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, we can go back to that if you want to, but no.
You were literally
quiet until I said.
You were probably like the top two people that I wanted to tell this to, but I was actively stonewalling you, so I couldn't. I had to wait until we repaired so that I could
Have we done that yet?
We're working on it.
Okay.
We'll do it. Maybe not on air, or maybe we will.
Okay.
Maybe we'll record it.
All right. So you're in the hot tub with who now?
So I was in a hot tub with Richard Sherman, hands down my absolute favorite football player of all time. And this has been when he was playing with the Seahawks. And anywho, I got real pumped when I entered an elevator with him. And then I elbowed my husband because I was like, do you see what I see? I know everybody has masks on, but I know this is the man. And then, a couple of days later, our kids were all playing in the hot tub. And I was just like I was wearing sunglasses and doing like the creepy thing that guys do where they like look at you, stare at you behind their sunglasses because you can't see where their eyes are.
Okay.
So I was really like watching him. Anywho.
You talked to him, right?
I did not talk to him. Nope. I got really shy. No, I was actually, my line that I wanted to use was like, hey, that's really cool that you have this opportunity to sit in the hot tub with me and get to know me. This is really cool.
That's crazy because I don't think I told you, but it was actually last year when I was in Cabo that I was thinking about who I wanted on the podcast, and he was like on my list. I reached out to him like 4 times.
Oh, you did? You didn't have me go?
And there he was. He was right next to you, and you could have been like, hey, want to be on our podcast?
Oh, man.
The reason why, this is the conversation, and this is why actually, sorry, we're veering a little bit, because Richard Sherman is one of the greatest modern defensive football players on the planet.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to people who are good at being defensive about what makes them good at being defensive. Right? Because and Richard Sherman would have he went to Stanford, so he would have a lot of thoughts about this in terms of like, patience and discernment and wisdom, because he knows you can't like immediately tackle everybody, the wide receiver as soon as the ball gets snapped.
No, but you have to read, like you have to be like hyper vigilant. So I'm thinking about like his role as people are probably rolling their eyes. They're like, they're talking about football now. But as a defensive back, you have to be constantly scanning. You have to know the person, like know their body, be able to read their body, know which way they're moving. And I feel like that's what happens when we get defensive sometimes. It's like you are so hyper vigilant. You are waiting. Like you're always anticipating that person is going to catch the ball every single time. It is going to be thrown to them every single time. And if that's the mentality that you have as a defensive back, you're going to be very successful. You're always on your toes.
Yes.
Always anticipating.
Because also one of the key things about being really good at being defensive is that when that guy doesn't get thrown the ball, you don't tackle him.
Right.
You don't hit him as hard as you can, right? Like if the threat's not there, you learn how to back off the need for that, right?
You know that Zach and I are huge fans of getting support, and that is why we have partnered with BetterHelp to put you in contact with licensed professional counselors in your area. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed, accredited, and experienced counselors who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, trauma, grief, relationships, and more. With BetterHelp's counselors, you get the same professionalism and quality that you would expect from an in-office counselor, with the ability to communicate when and how you want, whether it be messaging, through the phone, or video conferencing. The matching process is quick but thorough. Look, I know that a lot of therapists are booked out and difficult to get into, but don't let that stop you from getting the support that you need. The cost is less than half of what Zach and I charge, which is kind of unheard of. And when you register with BetterHelp, you are supporting Marriage Therapy Radio. Go to trybetterhelp.com MTR. So it's trybetterhelp.com/MTR to register with BetterHelp. TRYBETTER help, HELP.com/MTR, and you receive a special discount as a Marriage Therapy Radio listener.
Anyway, this is what I want. This is what I tell clients all the time. I say, okay, great. You're going to go on vacation. You're going to come home and you're going to say, that was a great vacation.
Mm-hmm.
What has happened on that vacation?
Right.
What is the thing that has happened on that vacation?
Yeah.
And maybe then it begins to include things like, we go on walks, or we don't drink, or we drink a lot, or we leave our computers in the locker, or for me, I think there was a part where it was like, hey, I actually feel like I need to work a little bit because there's something about just needing to keep my brain active that's important.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that didn't really work. It wasn't as effective as I thought it was, but I think we do need to figure out how to talk about in advance the story that we want to tell, because we can also tell this story, which is to say, if we have a terrible vacation, if we come home and it's not good.
Right. What happened?
What has happened? Oh, well, we drank too much, or we worked too much, or well, we never went on a walk, or we because I think you get these like ideas in your head.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Chicken tacos should only be trusted to chicken professionals.
That's where we come in. Introducing Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One comes with pico de gallo and creamy chipotle ranch. And the other comes with bacon, lettuce, tomato, and avocado ranch. Chicken experts since 1990. Chicken taco experts since now. Order yours today in the Zax Rewards app. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Particularly for us about Mexico, that it's going to be the answer. Oh my God, the sun and the surf and the margaritas and it's the answer, but it's not the answer, because in our case it was just the three of us. So all we did was take our system, took our little system, and we picked it up out of Seattle and we plopped it down in Cabo, and we still had to, manage the system.
But it requires that you know yourself and that you advocate for your needs really, really well. And I'm actually still learning. Like, I think that I am an expert on myself. And it turns out that I think your partner actually knows a lot more about you than you give them credit for. So Ryan went golfing. We know that that's something that my husband needs to do. It was the whole reason we went down to this particular resort, was to golf on this particular golf course. And for the golfers
Where
out
were you?
there, yeah, I know. I'm like, people are going to wonder. So we went to Diamante, which is this like golf resort. Tiger Woods is in the process of building a course there, and it's a fancy schmancy, really nice top 100. They've sort of dropped from like 30 to maybe 80. Anyway, it was a really cool golf course. It's like similar to Bandon Dunes, very cool. It was awesome. We did it as a family, and I'm so glad that we did. But Ryan went golfing, Holden went to kid camp, and I really just wanted to sit and get like sun. Because my old story of what I thought I knew about myself was that I need to relax. I need to lay in the sun. I need to come back with a tan so that everybody else will know that I had the luxury of going to Mexico and being in the sun. It turns out what I actually needed to come home and say I had a good vacation was I needed to move my body. I was just stuffing my face at this all-inclusive resort. We went to the Hard Rock. And I needed the run. And after the run, I was a way better human being. And I said that to my husband. He got back from golf and he was on cloud 9. I was on cloud 9. Holden had some kid time. And we all sort of like shared notes. What was so great about today? I'm like, I ran 8 miles on a treadmill because I couldn't run anywhere else. But I was like, but I ran and it felt so good. And I'm so happy that I stuck to my goals just because we're on vacation. I didn't overdrink. And that was what I needed to have a really good vacation. And my husband goes, yeah, I could have told you that. I had no idea. I had no idea that was what I needed.
Because he knows you better than you do.
Yeah. Because he's
Maybe sometimes.
aware. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Turns out my wife knows me better than I do too. Because I was like, I'm just going to work a little bit. She's like, no, when you work a little bit, that means like for the half day before and the half day after you're done, you're still just like not quite here. So I did also read a couple of like really not trashy, but just like irrelevant novels that I've already forgotten about. That was, I got that going. Yeah. I read 3 whole books. One was like a workbook, and then 2 were just like, mystery novels.
Fluffy stuff. That's impressive. I did not find it a moment to sit down. Like, I'm constantly chasing, but you have a different lifestyle. I mean, I'm trying to make sure my 7-year-old doesn't drown. And that seems important.
Yeah.
Rather than reading.
You could teach him how to swim.
No, seems like that.
You can't teach him how to swim.
That involves work.
You don't know it. That involves knowing how to swim.
Do you know that I'm getting up at 5 in the morning on Tuesdays and Fridays and I'm swimming? I am actively learning how to swim.
Yeah, no, I knew that was a goal for you.
Yeah,
I just think it's fascinating that you're 40 years old and you don't know how to swim.
I'm not 40, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I know.
I think what you're talking about is just being intentional and asking
in advance what I'm talking about.
So here's the other thing that I have learned just about myself with vacations, because I always come home. I'm itching to get home. Like, I'm done with staying in hotels by about day 4. I don't have routine. I like getting out of routine. I'm comfortable with that, but then I miss cooking meals for myself. So I have really learned that if we're going to do any kind of extensive travel, I need a kitchen. I need to like mess around, put around. I need to wipe a countertop. I need to like prepare my own meal. Eating in restaurants to me is like only fun for 2 days max. So that's something that I've really learned over the years. And I try to be intentional when we travel just so that I'm a happier human being.
Yeah. No, I think that is exactly right. Sort of knowing yourself and knowing in advance kind of what works for you and what doesn't. There's a part of this conversation, though, that if you get it right with regard to the parenthetical, meaning the very specific time you leave your house to go to the airport and the time that you come back from the airport, right? It just kind of, it's really closed-ended. I think you can expand this whole thing into other spaces and places. Like, what if we got this weekend right? I think we talked about this once before, maybe on a mailbag. Or what if we got this summer right? Or what if we got this date tonight right? Or even what if we got this conversation right? You know, like we need to have a talk about, you know, our kid, you know, and what if we got it right? Well, I think there are lots of different things that agendas that people bring to the table, and sometimes they don't know it. And when you're working across agendas, it's really problematic.
Okay, I have a question for you. So okay. I just had a client, and it was interesting. He said, "Here's the difference between my wife and I. I'm an outward processor. I'm not really clear on how I feel or what I'm thinking unless I'm talking through it with my partner. My partner's the opposite. She stews on things, she sorts it out, she processes, and then by the time it comes out of her mouth, it is final. And so when you're talking about, okay, like before the weekend starts, it's Friday night or it's Thursday night, and we're looking at the weekend, we're saying, hey, what is your agenda? Like, what's going to make your weekend phenomenal that Sunday night you're going, man, that was awesome. I did everything that I wanted to do this weekend. What do you do if you have two different individuals that do things differently? Like one person is like, this is what I need. And the other person doesn't quite know what they need yet. They need to process it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's something about that conversation that has to happen on a Thursday, but it has to happen on a lot of Thursdays, right? Because it's probably not a thing that's going to be true about just this weekend alone. There's probably something that's built in, and that's sort of the perpetual problem piece. Like I immediately kind of go to introvert, extrovert, sort of how do you want to spend the weekend? But I think there's a measure of sort of what is the long game here. The long game is that at the end of the weekend or month or year, we feel more connected than less. So how do we both get what we need, you know? And, you know, what are the trade-offs that have to happen? So for me, it's really about sort of setting that up and saying, you know, what is the balance of understanding? And I think, you know, I had a couple today, actually. They were talking about, they got in a fight because he believes he's going to live to be 125 years old.
Okay.
And she is like, why would you want to do that? You know, by the time you get to 90, your quality of life starts to diminish. And they got in an argument about it.
Wow.
And it wasn't about that. It was really about like, what was the point? Like, what were they trying to accomplish? What was she trying to accomplish? What was he trying to accomplish? And then they got into this sort of secondary thing. And, you know, for me, it comes down to, what if we were having this vision for conversation? What if we got a conversation right? Even about something this ridiculous or even benign.
Sure.
Well, to me, it was like, it's in the car. And then when they get to the restaurant, they go, okay, cool. Well, I'll go see how long the wait list is, and while you park the car, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Like, there's no agenda, because we're still in it for the long game. And the long game is stay connected, not defend 92 versus 125.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
what's the whole point of this? I really I've started a lot of couples off when they come to me and they're like, man, Laura, we really need to process this. We had a really tough time on Saturday. Can we talk about this? I'm like, sure. But before we get into it, because they want to just jump in and start pointing fingers, and this is why it went wrong. I said, what's the point? What are we doing? Why do you want to address it right now? Like, do you want to learn something from this conversation? Do you want to get back in it? Do you want to feel heard and understood? Do you want to apologize? Like, what's the point? And I think if you start things with the intention of understanding what the end goal is, and you're having that conversation with your partner, because you're doing it together, now we're working as a team.
100%. Yeah.
Starting with the end goal in mind. How about that's the title, Jason? That's the title. It's official.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's exactly right. I mean, again, conversations go poorly when we don't know why we're having them, or we don't have a shared agenda about what we're trying to do. And I think it's fair to say, I need to have this, I want to talk about this thing. Okay, why? And then, setting yourselves up for success by saying, I need to vent, or I need to let you know, or I'm in search of an apology, or because when you're not clear about that, it's really easy for it to go awry. In the same way that if you're not clear about what your vacation is meant to accomplish,
right,
it's easy for it to go awry.
It totally is. And we actually had a moment where, Ryan was like, and then we can do this, and then we can do that. And I was like, okay, so what are we doing here? Like, what's the point? What's the purpose? Like, do you want to hang out as a family? Do you want to see everything that you can possibly see? Do you want to get the biggest bang for your buck? Like, I'm just not really clear on what the agenda is, because we have, and then when it came down to it, it was like, well, I think we all just kind of want to be happy when we leave and feel like we had a really good time. And does that mean that we have to get up and go and do 3 more activities today? Or could we just...
Well, it begs the next question, which is what's going to make you happy? What's going to make you happy? What's going to make you happy? And is there room for all, say in that case, 3 agendas, in our case, and in your case, 3 agendas?
Which we totally did. We accomplished it. And then I sat in the hot tub with Richard Sherman, and I totally stared at him through my sunglasses and didn't say a word.
That's crazy, dude. I can't imagine being in the hot tub with Richard Sherman and not saying something.
Yeah. Well, I was chatting it up. It was really funny, actually. I was throwing a football to all these kids in the hot tub, and his daughter looks at me, and Holden's like, "Mom, stop throwing it like that." And I was trying not to. I actually have a really powerful arm. I don't know if you know this. I'm going to toot my own horn. But I know how to throw a football. I know how to make a spiral, all of this, but I'm trying not to drill a kid in the face with a football. And the girl next to me goes, "You got to put your fingers on the laces." And I was like, "Thank you, Mrs. Sherman. Appreciate your suggestion." It was super cute. I was like, "Aren't you so smart?" And I was like, "What makes you qualified
how do you know my name?
To tell me?" Yeah. I was like, "Do you know what?"
"How do you know my name?" And you're like, "I just looked it up on Instagram 2 seconds ago."
No, so sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that a friend of the Sherman family is like, "Hey, you got to talk to these 2. They're big fans, obviously."
Yeah, well, yeah, totally. I've got a new target now that I'm excited about working on, so I'm chasing that down. But
good. Watch out. Your inboxes will be all fired up with Zach.
I was going to say one more thing, but I forgot what it was. I was going to tell you this. Sorry, this is the last thing. We can end after this because it's pretty unnecessary. But I had dinner one time I was at a birthday party, and I guess at the birthday party was an active NFL player, and we were seated next to each other, and we were a little talking about what we did, and he was like, "Yeah, well, I got to work out 3 times a day," and and then I said something that I in hindsight I'm like, that was the dumbest thing ever, and it was something like, "Man, I don't know how you do it. I don't think I could work out 3 times a day." We were the same.
Yeah, yeah.
And his answer, I'll never forget it. He goes, "Well, my body is my business, so it's kind of the way I." And I was like, "My body is my business."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. So I guess you're not going to eat more of this birthday cake right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
my body is my business. That's what I'm on the spring of competition. So my body is my business right now. Actually, I'm going to go eat some Indian food for lunch. So I got to peace out.
Yeah. I was going to say one more thing too. When you said Tiger Woods, I'm in a battle right now with a bunch of friends. We're playing Wordle together. You know this game, Wordle?
Yeah.
And we're playing it on a golf card. So it's on a scorecard that it's all like golf. So we have a par and then we're da-da-da. Anyway, the champion of the golf tournament gets to be called Tiger Words.
Oh boy. Nope. That one didn't get a giggle out of me, but you did have 2 well played dad jokes right in the middle.
That was for Chris. He was saying, I haven't heard a dad joke in a while. So I hooked him up.
Okay.
Okay. Well, listen, when you're ready to apologize, I will forgive you. Just so you know.
Thank you. I think, should we do it on air? Have an actual apology?
I think I've had enough of that. I'll talk to you later. We're going to land this plane.
Yes, we are.
Except you're supposed to say that.
All right. Adios. We're going to land this plane. Toodaloo.
All right.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. If you're a friend or connected to the Sherman family, gosh, I'd love to have one or both of them because Mrs. Sherman is an amazing businesswoman. That'd be pretty awesome to talk to her as well. On the podcast, so send them our way. Marriage Therapy Radio. You know who you're listening to. Anyway, thanks for all of your time and your attention, making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.